got a bit more time to invest into making something perhaps a little more different, a little bit more challenging, and a little bit more fun, I've got something really special for you today. Let's go. Welcome back to Kiwi Dad's Kitchen. My name's Kyle Willoughby. I am a Kiwi Dad. This is my kitchen, and today we are taking a bit of a special journey into a recipe that I've been wanting to get my hands on for quite some time. So today we are making gumbo. Now gumbo is a stew from Louisiana, and it is primarily sort of based around things like chicken, sausage, that sort of thing. But it's again a really versatile recipe, so you can throw in things like shrimp, crab, whatever you like, make it whatever sort of suits your tastes. But we are looking for what the Creole call the Holy Trinity, which is bell peppers, or capsicum for us Kiwis, onions and celery, and then a whole bunch of flavors that go into it: stalks, garlic, of course it's garlic, this is me, flour, we make a roux. There's a whole thing to it. This is going to take some time, so get yourself comfy if you do want to get into this, but it's well worth the experience at the end. Let's go. Now, I'm going to preface this with, this is not going to be exactly a gumbo, because there are some ingredients that are a tad challenging to find, and we're kind of taking this more as a gumbo-inspired stew. So, let's just run through the ingredients that we've got here. So, we've got your chicken and your sausage. Now, traditionally, you'd use an andouille sausage. That's a bit challenging to find over here from what I've seen, so you can just go with something like a chorizo or just a standard smoked sausage. Whatever you can find at the supermarket will be absolutely fine. I mentioned the Holy Trinity, so we've got your capsicum, your onion and your celery. Those are going to form part of the base of the ingredients. Garlic, we've got tinned tomatoes, we've got some chicken stock, flour, olive oil, Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, I hear everybody cringing when I say that every time. Cajun seasoning, salt and pepper, obviously. These little blokes at the back here, these are okra. Now, okra is, again, a bit challenging to find. If you have an Asian grocery near you, you will quite often find these just in the freezer at your Asian grocery. If you can get them, great. They will certainly add a certain something to the menu. If you can't, it's not the end of the world and you can live without them, but it just gives you that sort of air of authenticity. So let's get stuck into the prep. So the next few steps probably won't come as a surprise to anybody when we start processing these veggies down. So I'm just going to cut this okra down sort of reasonably small. They can just sit up the front there. Now, I am definitely invoking the rule of sum here, because I actually have no idea how much okra needs to go in, so we're just kind of making this up as we go along. So we're just going to dice up a little bit of that till it looks about enough. Grab a few more. We've got this interesting kind of pattern inside them as well, so as I say, if you can't get the okra or you can't find okra, it's not a big deal. I know it is in some supermarkets, so definitely have a look around for it. See if you can find it, because it does kind of give you that air of authenticity. And then we're just going to cut down the celery as well. So we're going to again make this reasonably fine, because this is all going to go into the body of the gumbo, and this is going to add those delicious flavors that will really bring this meal to life. So celery, and it just kind of gives you that nice little hit of flavor, something a little bit different. So we're just going to process this down. Incidentally, if you keep a hold of those celery leaves, those can come in handy for things like flavouring stocks and soups and so forth as well, so nothing gets wasted. So you can see I'm going quite small with my dice here. Smaller when the celery falls in front of the knife. Oops, never mind. All right. And that's part one of the Holy Trinity. Part two, we're just going to, again, dice this green capsicum down. So we're just going to quietly behead it. And we'll just cut those bits there off because, again, no capsicum left behind. Wahaha. And we'll just nick those ribs out there. Come on. Okay, so just get the ribs and the seeds out. And again, we're going to dice this up fairly fine. So you still want to have bits of your veggies in your stew, but you want them to be fine enough that you can kind of get a whole bunch of flavours in one mouthful. So you're not being overpowered by the onion or the garlic or the celery or whatever. So we're just going to slice this down nice and pretty like. So when we refer to this as the Holy Trinity, a lot, well if not all, Cajun and Creole dishes utilize these ingredients. So jambalaya, gumbo, whole bunch of recipes you'll find. Capsicum, celery and onion. You also find it in a lot of Caribbean cooking as well, so your Jamaican, although you'll find there's quite often things like Scotch bonnet peppers, which again can be a bit challenging to find in New Zealand. Not impossible, but challenging. And if you do make the effort when you're doing that sort of thing, the more authenticity you can get, obviously, the better the flavors. But the whole point of this is using what we can get at the local supermarket. Admittedly, I did go a little bit flash to get the okra, but most of this has just come from my local pack and save. So it really is doable as a family meal. Possibly a weekend thing, something along those lines. There we go. And then we're just going to dice up our onions and mince that garlic down. So you've seen me do this a number of times now. Because most of my recipes seem to end up using onions and garlic. They're just flavors I absolutely love working with. And I've done it again, cut the onion before the garlic, never mind. At least I'm consistently making myself cry. Right. And then we're just going to quickly dice up the garlic as well. get that ready to go. So all of this goes in to basically form the base of the stew. So all these ingredients here, along with the roux that we will make shortly. Roux is, in this instance, a combination of oil and flour, which is brought to the boil and, well, brought to a simmer, and then thickened and darkened, and I'll show you in a sec. Right, that's looking good to go. So let's get the meat prepared. So I've got about a ½ kilo of our smoked sausage here, so we're just going to cut that down into reasonable chunks, which we will fry off shortly. Now, if you're anything like me, the tricky part here is going to be not eating the sausage before you cook it, because I am an absolute sucker for this stuff. So we're just going to hacky slashy slicey, and then we'll get the chicken prepped. Cool, so there we go, ready to cook. Okay, so now for the chicken. So we've just got boneless, skinless chicken thighs. The advantage with chicken thighs is you can cook the living hell out of them and they still come back nice and tender. So we're just going to pop these into the bowl here. And so we're going to need, where are we? Tablespoon of olive oil. And 3 tablespoons of our Cajun seasoning. Now you can make a Cajun seasoning from scratch, should you desire. I'm taking the easy way out here. Okay, and we're just going to pop another one of those gloves on, because it says washing hands. And we're just going to mix this all in together to season our chicken thighs. So you just want to make sure everything is incorporated, that you got that seasoning on all of that chicken. You get that wonderful smells coming through already. You can add some salt and pepper to this as well if you wish. That is looking about where I want it. So now it's over to the stovetop and let's make some magic. Now I should warn you, as well as being a little bit time intensive, this is also going to be very dishes intensive as well, because you are going to go through a few pots and pans making this. So you probably want to do this on one of the nights that the kids are cooking. My son's going to have a heart attack when I tell him that, never mind. So first things first, we've got the fry pan here. We're going to get that up to temperature. I took that on a high heat, and we're going to fry off the sausage that we had previously diced. A little trap for young players, by the way, make sure you've peeled your sausage as well. So some of these salamis and chorizos and so forth do come with a little protective plastic wrapping. So yeah, make sure you've peeled that off, or you're going to be in for a less than flavourful sensation. So I just got those sausages in the fry pan, and we just want to fry them off so that they're sort of a light brown colour. They will also release their oils, which is great because we can use that to cook the chicken in a moment. So just have those gently moving around the fry pan. And looking delicious. So we'll just let that sit and do its thing for a couple minutes. And we can hear that sizzling as the oils are released from our sausage. That's gonna... So we don't want to overcook them, just want them to get sort of a light browning on them. Move those around a touch. And you see we're starting to get some colour on these ones in the middle here. Let's starting to colour up just nicely. As you can see, we've got some of the oils on the bottom of the fry pan there as well, which will help to flavour that chicken when we come to cook it. And once those sausages have browned enough, and it's very much going to be down to your individual eye as to what enough looks like. We're just going to pop those out to a waiting plate that I have here. While I'm doing this. Okay. So we can move on to the next step, which is cooking off the chicken. So let's get this over here. Right. Now the chicken we're going to cook fairly quickly because we're not aiming to cook it through. We're just aiming to get some colour on it. So we're just going to get that wonderfully seasoned, flavoured chicken into our fry pan here. And you only want it in for sort of a minute or two each side. Probably going to want to batch cook this. And as I say, we're just going for colour. We're not going for cook. We're going to finish cooking this in the stew itself. So we're just going to turn that chicken there, so as you can see we've got a little bit of colour on it, and those Cajun spices are all just caramelising and making this smell like heaven on earth. So just about got the chicken set and ready to go. So again, we're just going to plate that to the side. And now we're ready to actually start getting that gumbo prepared and ready to go. Right, now we come to the techie bit. This is where we make the roux. Now, the roux forms the base for a lot of Cajun and Creole cooking, and it's literally 1 part oil and 1 part flour. So people can get a bit scared of roux because they are very easy to get wrong. But if you give them a bit of patience, a bit of love, and a bit of care, they are also very easy to get right. So we're going to go in with 1/2 cup of oil. And my previously prepared 1/2 cup of flour. And now we're going to mix this together for a while. So when the roux starts, it's that lovely light yellow color that you see here. This is what they call a blonde roux. Now we want to take this through to a nice darkened sort of chocolatey brown, well not quite chocolate brown, but a nice brown color. So that's going to take us about, well, 10-15 minutes. So we're just going to let this do its thing. Now the important thing, as I say, is to show this love. So keep it stirring, keep it moving. You don't want the roux to burn. So just keep it stirring, keep it moving, keep your patience up and let it do its thing. So with cooking this roux nice and slow, we're also cooking that raw flour flavour out of this mixture. So you just end up with this lovely, rich, caramelised sauce of deliciousness. And as you can see, as it starts to cook through, that roux is going to start changing colour. So it's gone from that blonde to a sort of a very, very light brown. So we want to keep it going a little bit further than that while avoiding burning it. So this is more of a dark roux. We can go a shade darker still. And again, this is going to be very much a to the eye, not exact science thing. But once we've got that roux where we want it, we're going to throw in our prepped veggies, so our onions, our celery, okra, capsicum, garlic. And we're going to cook those off for a couple minutes and just get those flavors through. So nearly there. So it is a balancing act, but we're getting that lovely sort of milk chocolate brown color going on now. So I think it's time to introduce our veggies and mix all these through. So you want to give these, as I say, a couple minutes. Yep. Mixing it then into the roux and just getting those flavors incorporated. And just get that fresh hit of veggies as they just start to sear and combine with that roux, and oh my god, this is good. Okay, so it's a couple minutes with this bit. Possibly not the correct tool for the job here, but never mind. As it happens, I have that to hand. Yeah. So we're just going to mix all this through. Give those veggies a chance to soften a bit. And we are going to reintroduce our cooked sausage. And we want to, again, mix that all through. You could probably actually stand to cut these in half so that you get more of a bite-sized chunk thing going on. So just get these all combined. And once you've got that sausage nicely combined with your veggie mix, we're going to go in with another couple tablespoons ish of our Cajun mix and about 700 mils of the chicken stock. That feels about right. And half your tin of tomatoes. Mix all that together. Let it settle. Find the bits of sausage that you forgot to cut. Okay. And then we need to bring this to just a light simmer, so just let that come up to temperature gently. And once you're at that light simmer stage, we're going to cover it and just let it combine to itself for around about 40 minutes or so. So after about 20 minutes, we've got this wonderfully thick, juicy stew going on. We're just gonna, so just kind of cut those chicken pieces up a little bit, just to help them cook through better. In they go to our mix. And again, we're just gonna mix this through. Get everything nice and combined. There we go. Okay. And we're just going to throw a little bit of the Worcestershire sauce in as well. So some, I think it's about a tablespoon roughly, give or take. Just to again bring that darkness of colour in. Okay, and we're going to let that cook uncovered for about 20 minutes. Okay, so after about 20 minutes, we're just going to sneak a piece of that chicken out and just check it for doneness, if that's the technical term. Come here, you. Just to make sure that's cooked all the way through. And that is looking pretty darned sensational to me. So, give that a quick check. Yeah, that's all looking good. So we just want to thicken this stew up a little bit. So I've just made a bit of a slurry here with some corn flour and water. Just get a bit of a mix through and just add that in to help thicken the gumbo up. That takes effect almost immediately. Fantastic. So you want a nice thick consistency. Possibly add a touch more. There we go. So we're just going to mix that through to finish this off. And that is looking and smelling incredible. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of food here, so again, you can meal prep this for a while, but that is looking just amazing. So as you see, it's not a quick recipe by any manner of means, but that result speaks for itself. That is going to warm the cockles of your heart on a winter's evening, and it's going to keep you full and feeling absolutely incredible. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to have this first mouthful of this meal. So let's get some rice, get some of that sausage going on. Trying not to burn myself in the process. Oh, that is insane. That is dead set insane. The flavors from the chicken, the texture from the sausage, and those spices. This is just, it should be illegal for something to taste this good. I am absolutely loving this. As always, recipe's going to be down below with your ingredients list and so forth. It does take some time, it does take some patience, and it does take a whole lot of love. but the result is so worth it. Definitely give this one a try. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that recipe. I'm going to make this quick because I want to go finish that bowl off. That's really darn good. So as always, please do like, subscribe, share, smash the notifications button. I would really love you guys to be keeping in touch with what I'm doing. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, follow me there as well. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I'm looking forward to being able to share even more of these recipes with you the further down this journey we go. So until we meet again, remember, salt is a perfectly acceptable measurement when cooking. I think I proved that several times today. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next time. Bye for now.